राधा माधव कुंज विहारी कुंज विहारी गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा 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 राम राम हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Ram 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 Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Radhe Radha Madan Mohan Jai Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki Srila Prabhupada ki Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki Kaliyuga Pavana Harinama Sankirtan ki Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bo Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuvunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamakyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajeevam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sakitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। Welcome all of you. So there are two types of administration or management that any king would do in the Vedic times. One type of management is spiritual management, and another type of management is material management. So spiritual management means the Lord is at the top. Material management means my skills, my knowledge, my expertise, my ability to hold manpower by throwing money. These things are at the top. And spiritual management means the leader thinks that I have ideas, but unless Krishna sanctions it, my ideas cannot take shape. Material management means a person thinks, I am very expert, I have enough money, I have the people, I have the resources, and I have the skill sets, and there is nothing impossible for me in this world. I can get things done. Like that, the person feels like that. That is material management. And spiritual management means I am a conditioned soul with 4 defects. I need to be enlightened from the Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra so that I can conduct myself properly and I will not cause any damages in this world. Rather, I will do good to the other living entities because they are all children of God. Material management means I can never commit a mistake. I am always right. I am always perfect. I am spotless. If somebody finds fault with me, that is their problem, not my problem. That is material management. Similarly, spiritual management means I will use my body, mind, and words only for the pleasure of serving and satisfying and pleasing Hari, Guru, and Vaishnavas. My body, mind, and words are meant for that purpose only. I am their servant, and I will engage my body, mind, words in serving, satisfying, and pleasing Hari Guru Vaishnavas. I have no other business in life. Material management means I have these people with me, the manpower, and I have this much bank balance, and I can combine all these things together and accomplish what I want for my pleasure. So, four things I said. Let us see who can recollect one each about the difference between spiritual management and material management. Only one devotee should say only one out of the four. Okay. I give the mic.
Material management means he depends upon his own abilities.
The fans are making little noise, I think. I think that is a little fast. You can reduce. Yeah.
He has more faith in his own skills, abilities, and knowledge and everything. Spiritual management means he does the things plans, but he depends upon Lord's sanction. He understands that Lord is sanctioner.
Correct.
Without him, nothing will happen.
Thank you. Very good. Anybody else?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thanks.
Material management, he depends on his resources, and spiritual management, he remembers the four defects, and he tries and depends on Krishna.
He knows that I have defects and I need to be enlightened by Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. Not that I know everything. I am not all-knowing. I can commit mistakes. I am foolish. I need to be guided. And I need to be not only guided, but also blessed by Hari Guru and Vaishnavas. Only then I can act properly. That is spiritual outlook. And material management means I know it all. I have so many years of experience. Who finds fault with me? If somebody finds fault with me, they are having problem, not me. That's material management. Yes, thank you. Any other point?
I was telling same thing, like spiritual problem. I mean spiritual management in the sense that I am conditioned soul. I have defects, so I'm trying my best to make myself purified.
Yes.
And others are there to help me out.
Yes.
Material management means that I have this many hours of things I did. I am perfect. If somebody has something problem with me, then it is problem with him, not with me.
Thank you. Correct. Yeah. Anybody else? Amaji, yeah. You can give one mic to her.
In spiritual management, we use our body, mind, and words for the pleasure of Krishna. In material management, it's mostly about satisfying.
Not only pleasure of Krishna,
and Guru.
For serving, satisfying, and pleasing Hari, Guru, and Vaishnavas. Of course, Krishna is the easiest person that people always endeavor to please. And pleasing Hari and pleasing Guru and Vaishnavas is more difficult. Out of the two, Guru is more easy. But pleasing Vaishnavas is more difficult. Therefore, we begin with Vaishnavas. Then when Vaishnavas are pleased, then Guru is pleased. When Guru is pleased, Yasya Prasadad, then Krishna is pleased. But people go reverse generally. People first try to please Krishna first directly. Then afterwards, amongst all the Vaishnavas, they cannot respect anybody except one person who is called Guru. He is the only perfect Vaishnava. Everybody else is bogus. They think like that. So they begin with Krishna, then they serve Guru, then they come to Vaishnavas. But Shastra says the opposite. Mad Bhakta Pujya Abhyadika. They say that start with Vaishnavas, then Guru is pleased, then Krishna will be pleased. Yes, as much.
Material management is more about satisfying one's own false ego.
Correct. Exactly. That was the point I was making. Thank you. Any other point I made? Spiritual management means Lord is at the top. Shri Radha and Krishna, the divine couple, Radha Madan Mohan, they are at the top. They are watching me. How am I speaking? How am I acting? How am I doing things? And everybody, all the jivas are there, part and parcel. And they are all very dear to them. And I have to take care that in the course of my management, I don't unnecessarily hurt other living beings. Because they are all very dear to them. So, I am being supervised by the unblinking eyes of the divine couple. They are watching. So I am under their lotus feet, I am taking the dust of their feet on my head and I am trying to do some management. This is the right understanding. Whereas material management means I am the boss and everybody else is here to assist me. They're all, I have so much bank balance, and I have so many people to assist me, and I have so many skill sets. So these are all my resources. I will use them, and then I will accomplish what I want. And nothing can escape me. I have the expertise. That kind of feeling. So you are able to see the difference between the two. So the goal of our slate training program is to bring us from material outlook to spiritual outlook. So the more we get spiritual outlook, the more we will have our head between the shoulders. Otherwise, our head will be in the clouds. So it is said, okay, even if your head is in the clouds, no problem. Make sure your legs are on the ground. It is said. So to give up false pride, to give up, there are three words Lord Krishna uses in 18.24 Bhagavad Gita. He says, Sa ahankarena is one word. Bahulayasam, he says. And kamepsuna. Three words he is using. A passionate leader or a manager, what he does, kamepsuna means he is always having fruity mentality. What is in it for me? Are people giving me respect or not? That kind of. Or I did this work, did they give me the credit? That is kamepsuna. And bahulayasam means extreme endeavor, over endeavor, struggle in order to become popular or things like that. Extreme struggle. And bahulayasam, kamayapsuna, and one more word he's using is, what is that? Ahankarena, he's saying, yeah. That means he has false ego that I'm indispensable, nobody else can do what I'm doing. I am the first one to start this and nobody else knows about it. I know it all and things like that. Ahankar. So these three words, 18.24, you can read, you'll get it. So, to give up that passionate mentality and keep ourselves in sattva guna and manage whatever is given to us for management. So that is spiritual management. So let us proceed further where we left last time. So last time, page number 6, huh? Okay. I gave you some homework to do. You all completed that? I think this one I had given you. This is over? Huh? This one, huh? Uh-huh. So you have done the homework. If I ask question, you all should be able to answer, I believe, right? Right now, we are not giving any time for doing the activity because you have done and come. Correct, no? Correct, our Prabhu. Correct, you told everyone. Okay. You reminded them 1 week ago? Okay. So, this is 1.18 point. 18 means the Parikshit Maharaj, huh? 15 to 18. And write 2 lessons you learned from the verses. And 10 to Canto 38, chapter 1 to 24. That is, I think, Akrura, right? I think this we completed last time. Let us proceed ahead. So, see, there are 2 types of course, in English they use the word proactive, reactive. But what our scriptures teach about this, they say that if you blame the environment or if you blame the people around you, you are disempowering yourself. You can empower yourself or you can disempower yourself. So what is the easiest way to disempower ourselves? By saying that so-and-so is not cooperating, so-and-so is not understanding, or I don't have the facilities. See, there is a saying in English, a good dancer does not blame the stage, it is said. Similarly, a good cook does not blame the utensils. A good student does not blame the lack of study facilities. Similarly, a good preacher doesn't say that audience are uninterested. You have to create interest. Everybody knows they are uninterested. Isn't it? So, we should not blame the people whom we are trying to serve. Rather, we have to find out how can I make it irresistibly attractive. One question I will ask you. Say you have a small center, preaching center you have started, and just 10 feet away, Sadhguru's people have started one more unit. And another 10 feet away, this side, Brahma Kumaris have started. On either side of you, you are in between. And that's a very nice crowded area, a lot of IT engineers, everybody. But these people are also your competitors. So one of the things that any organization does is to criticize the other organization who is in the same lane. They do that. Actually, that is the easiest way to drive out people. If you criticize. If you criticize them, you say, these two guys are bad, I am very good. You say that, nobody will come to you. So, in case you wish to attract a sizable crowd to your program, if they ask you, what about those two centers? You should say, I don't know. It's an honest answer, correct, no? Do you know much about what they are doing? You don't know. We haven't read their books much, but we came to Prabhupada's books and we are doing Harinam Sankirtan, Prasadam distribution, and we like this process very much. So the proof of the pudding is in its eating. So you come here for a few weeks. If you like it, you can follow what we are teaching you. If you are not happy, you can go wherever you want. You say that, crowd will swell up like anything. You will see that. Because you are not getting into blame game about anybody. And you are also offering the gifts that Prabhupada has given you through his books and everything. You are giving them. And also you can make the program irresistibly attractive. For example, you have a children class parallelly going on along with your adults class. And you have 3 languages you are teaching. Telugu, Hindi and English in 3 rooms. So they have multiple language. In my language I can hear the class. And my children also have something nice to do. And along with teaching them, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, which is actually meant for going back to Godhead, teach something which they can find it helpful for immediately in parenting children. Many people don't know. The parenting children can be taught in a spiritual way also. You can quote so much Prabhupada's, letters and from Bhagavatam and everything you can quote and teach how Suniti was parenting her son. How did Suniti parent her son Dhruva? How did she guide him? How did Rishabhadev guide his sons? You can see that there are ideal fathers and non-ideal fathers. Similarly, there are ideal mothers and non-ideal mothers. So many things can be taught from the scripture. So in this way, people will say, here if I go, I know how to parent my children. I learn how to lead my life and I get it in my language. And the prasadam is top class. And people are very loving and caring. When you go, everybody welcomes you. Not 1 or 2. Everybody is like that. They are like angels if you go here. And the other place you go, hardly anybody is there to receive you. And they don't have substantial philosophical books like Prabhupada's books. So people will always compare. How many of you have seen when people are getting some stuff, they make a comparison? Correct or not? Everybody makes a comparison. So ultimately people compare and decide for themselves what they want to do, where they want to go. Therefore, if you have 2 competitors on either side, we have to offer something that will be very attractive for people to consider coming to us regularly. And that is within our influence. And what is not in our influence is, if people are going to other places, you jump up and down and shout at them, why are you going to that place? Why are you not coming here? They will say, hey, how can you take away my freedom? Like now we have Banjara Hills. We have this, their temple also they have. And we are also having here our temple. So we should make our temple very attractive. Let people come here. And if you are offering a very caring environment, philosophically sound environment, nice prasad, nice children activities, cultural programs, better it is, more will want to come. Yesterday I had gone to one Rath Yatra, our Nirendra Avasti Prabhu's Rath Yatra. What I did, 4, like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, the Rath Yatra gets over. The entire colony, you cover and come. 1.5 hours period. So what they did was, I did Kirtan and they told me, Prabhu, in between you'll have to stop the Kirtan a little bit. We have a small cultural program. So we went like this and they stopped it and the small children came and performed this Choti Choti Gaya, Choti Choti Bal. They danced Chota Samero, Madan Gopal. Very nicely decorated children. And all the people surrounded them and then they performed it. And everybody appreciated. Then we did continue Kirtan. Then we came to the second place. Then little bigger children. They did this Kadachit Kalindi. Very nice recording they played. Kadachit Kalindi, like that they played that. And some girls were dancing. Little more bigger girls. And the third we came and then even more bigger. So in this way, on all the four sides, they had kept four performances of very nicely well-prepared dance. The dance teacher had trained them. So I felt it's a very good idea because when you are doing kirtan and walking little distance, and sometimes the people stop singing. They don't sing. When a lead singer is singing, they don't always sing. They get little spaced out. But this kind of engagement is very absorbing. Plus, some people are giving, if sun is hot, they are giving some juice, you take some juice. And then people get aligned also. Then after that, you proceed ahead. Especially in housing colonies, gated communities and all, when we do, this is a very good idea. And many people are watching from the top and seeing the cultural program, they came down. They found it very attractive. Then the crowd started swelling up. In this way, when we go to different places, we can learn from different people how they do things. The Rath Yatra, how they conduct, what elements they have, and we can include some elements learning from them. So one important thing is Vaishnava means they are always like a Saragrahi. We should be open-minded to learn from others rather than say that, why do you say these guys are doing better? Don't you see we have done this one? Why are you comparing us? If you think like that, that means you have no scope to improve. That means I am the best. Nobody can improve me. That's all. I am closed. Open-minded Vaishnava means other Vaishnavas, they are also inspired by Lord in their heart. They may do something new. We can learn from them. We also have something unique and they have something unique. We can learn from them. That kind of. So then you empower yourself. So we want to empower ourselves or disempower ourselves? Yeah, empower ourselves. So empowering ourselves means open-minded, willing to learn, willing to improve, willing to receive feedback, and also see others and inquire from others, not have an ego problem, and also put our attention on what we can do rather than blaming what others are not doing. And or saying that if these facilities are given to me, then I can do this service. Because temple is bad, temple is not providing these facilities, so I am not able to do. Some people say that. Like one preacher was telling, Prabhu, if temple is ready to arrange a vehicle, if some devotee is ready to call the people, if somebody is ready to cook and arrange prasad, if somebody is ready to make a pamphlet and everything, and somebody ready to follow up, and then at last he said, then you can call me. Then I am ready to go for any program. I said, how many years experience? Oh, he's just 2-year-old devotee. Are you a 20, 30-year-old devotee or are you a big Maharaja or somebody? That everything will be arranged for you and he has just spent 2 years in the ashram and he wants everything ready-made. So that means he is fully, blaming other people for his. And otherwise what he is thinking, I will just stay inside closed doors and some pujari service you do, that's all. And he has talent, he can speak well, but he is not, that lethargy is there, not ready to work hard. I said, you take a book bag and go out in the train, or go out in the marketplace, distribute the books, gather the names of people, and amongst them somebody will host you, in that house. Then somebody may cook and bring prasad. Or you have to also learn cooking and cook. Prabhupada himself cooked in the early days. So the whole idea is we cannot blame our lack of facilities, or we cannot blame the situation, or we cannot blame the people around us. By blaming, see, something bad happens, people do like this. They blame others. Something good happens, they raise their collar. It's me, I did it. Like that. You've seen this tendency in this world. Something good happens, I did it. Something bad happens, somebody else must have done it. Like that. So, therefore, in case in our life we want to be very progressive, see, one little thing I'll show you. See this one. This is I showed probably in one of the meetings before. Any problem, Shreya, no? Huh? See here, there was an important job to be done. Okay, I'll make it a little bigger. There was an important job to be done, and everybody was sure that somebody would do it. And anybody could have done it. But nobody did it. Somebody got angry about that because it was everybody's job. Everybody thought anybody could do it, but nobody realized that everybody wouldn't do it. It ended up that everybody blamed somebody when nobody did what anybody could have. You heard that? You saw this? It's a nice poem. See, for example, we are all coming inside this door. Let us assume that there is some dust flying from there to here in the hall, the wind is blowing. So you find that then everybody thinks, anyway, it's a very dusty hall, dust is rising, so somebody will clean it. And everybody thinks, who will clean it? Somebody. Somebody will clean it. But nobody, everybody assumes that except me, somebody else will do it. That way nobody. So cleanliness is whose responsibility? Everybody's responsibility. In the temple also, everybody's responsibility. So that is why you hear stories and all. For example, in one company interview for engineers, you know, they had kept a door which it's a spring type of door. They purposely kept. Whether you are slamming the door or you are slowly closing it, they wanted to check. And after you come in, they had put some paper balls on the ground here and there. They wanted to check whether this fellow picks it up and puts it in the dustbin, or he looks at it and just leaves it for somebody else to do it. And then he walks, you know. Yeah. And then they didn't keep a chair for him to sit, to check whether he's willing to stand or he demands a chair. You know. So they said half the interview is about behavior. You know, the actual job will come later. And when they see that a boy is not responsible, you know, he's slamming the door, he's not putting it in the dustbin, you know, his behavior is not good, then he is not taken for the job. Similarly, we also, as devotees, people look at our behavior, look at how, whether we are empowering leader or a disempowering leader. So this one will show this currently what we saw that here. See, one of you read the left side, and the other one can read the right side. Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah.
Proactive versus reactive responses. Left side.
I have a this thing. What do you call it? I recently did in Pune. Let me check. Yeah. There's one more. No? Out of size, though, there was one more PPT in Pune, company corporate one. I did one more. Remember the name? It was recently that. This okay, maybe corporate area. Was that? Correct. What is the name? Remember? What they thought they given a topic. Because if that is there, you can show. Correct. This is the one. This is not the company one. This is different. Okay, this is there at least. You can use this. Okay, you can see this. See the first one. So read the top. There is nothing I can do. Correct. Huh?
Yes, Prabhu.
So you have to choose one out of the three. Either A, B, C, you have to say. Huh? See, when a person says there is nothing I can do, you know, uh, because this person feels that, my superior is always interfering with me. Let us assume one service. For example, so your superior has given you a service, but he keeps on chasing after you, asking, have you completed, have you completed, have you completed? And you get irritated by that. Because you are a little person who does things properly, slowly, gradually, but the superior wants the service very fast. Correct, no? So, then you decide that I will not do the service at all. Because this fellow chases after me. There is nothing I can do, he says. So there are three answers given. Let's look at the alternatives. I can say that I have tried enough to complete on time, I am unable to. Or I can do provided I am assured that my boss won't interfere with me. Right, no? Out of the three, which one will you choose? Yeah? Okay, how many of you say A? Okay, how many of you say B? Okay, how many say C? Sure? You're all sure? See, the answer is A. Correct answer. You got it well. Okay, second one. Now, uh, you see, one devotee is a little, one leader is a little angry leader. And the complaint is coming to him. Hey, Prabhu or Mataji, so many devotees are hurt by your behavior and speech and everything. Complaint has come to us. Please mind yourself, behave yourself well, while dealing with devotees. Otherwise, it will lead to aparadhs and everything. And this person says, that's just the way I am, he says. He's saying, that's just the way I am, he says. Instead of that, what he can say, see the A, B, C. One of you can read. Who has the mic with you? Read all the three answers, then they will choose one.
I admit I speak in a straightforward manner without being sentimental. B. I can choose a different approach. C. I suggest that we understand that everyone is of a different nature and let them be what they are.
Yeah. So A, B, C. Okay, some people have chosen C. Huh? B. Okay, how many will say C? One, two, three, four. Okay, five answers. Five people. And how many say B? Okay, how many say A? Nobody. Okay. See, I purposely put C. I know many will choose this. See, although it is true that different people have different natures, if we choose C, that means we are disempowering ourselves. For example, I am a little angry devotee, for example, and complaints are coming to me. And I tell the people that, see, you may be a mild-natured person, but I am a strong-natured person. That's what I am. That means then others will understand. That means he doesn't want to have relationship with us. He has closed his doors for us. He has broken the bridge. He is actually building walls instead of building bridges. Like that people will think. But if I say the second one, I can choose different approach. You say, oh really? So-and-so got hurt by what I said. Maybe I could have told him by maybe a little more mildly, or I could have told him through somebody else instead of me directly talking to him. I'm sorry, I'll be careful next time. That is a B. So now you tell me which one, B or C? You all agree for B now? Isn't it? It is true that our swabhava is not very easy to change, but our swabhava has two compartments. One is good swabhava, one is bad swabhava. For example, Shauryam tejo detirdaksham yuddhe chapi palayanam dhanam yeshwara bhavascha kshatra karma swabhavajam. Krishna says that chivalrousness, valor, and influence over others, tejo, driti, determination, dakshyam, expertise, dhanam, generosity and charitable nature, ishwara bhavam, leadership. These are the good qualities of Kshatriyas. They are not bad. But what can be bad? Dambo darpo abhimanascha krodha parushyame ajnanam cha vijatasya partha sampadam asurim. Is telling Damba means boastful. I am a great leader. Darpa, pride, false pride. And in the same manner is saying becoming unduly angry, losing temper, harshness of speech, ridicule, sarcasm. If a Kshatriya uses these things, then he is disempowering himself. So this lower nature of a Kshatriya, he should be surpassed by Krishna consciousness. Similarly, Krishna says to Uddhava, Swabhava Vijayam Shauryam. He's saying, conquering the lower nature is real heroism. He's saying, Swabhava Vijayam is like, it comes in 11th canto. Swabhava Vijayam Shauryam. Conquer your lower nature. So, in this way, instead of saying that everyone is of a different nature, yes, it's true, we are of a different nature, but are we willing to take a different approach? So, we can also take help. Like, for example, Indra, when Krishna became displeased with him, Indra had to go to Krishna for seeking forgiveness. Do you think Krishna is going to entertain him? Krishna won't entertain him if Indra goes alone, because he has offended, and Krishna is more offended when his devotees are mistreated, correct, no? So Indra knew very well, I have done a big blunder. So let me consult my senior, Brahmaji, and ask him, what should I do ideally? So he went to Brahma, and Brahma intelligently gave him an idea. Don't go alone, take one very dear associate of Krishna with you. So whom he took? Surabhi. So it became difficult for Krishna to say no to Indra, to give you audience, because Surabhi has come. When Surabhi gives the recommendation, then Krishna has to entertain Indra. And then because he looked at Surabhi with a affectionate glance, in that affectionate glance, Indra also got some forgiveness along with that. Correct, no? So that means Indra took a different approach. Rather than going to Krishna and telling, my dear Lord, this is what I am. I have Ishvara Bhavam. I have this tendency for thinking I am the boss. What can I do? I can't change. You only made me. And we can't blame like that. One has to find out, can I take a different approach? So he took a different approach. That's the correct answer. Second one is the correct answer. Okay. He makes me so mad. Now, for example, say two of you are asked to do some seva and Rath Yatra, Janmashtami together. But you say that, oh, Prabhuji, I can do service with anybody in our community except this person. Don't tell me to serve with him. I cannot do like that. So you have a problem. Yeah. See, read the three answers. He makes me so mad.
Hare Krishna. I control my own feelings. B. He may be able to work with someone else, but not me. C. I can work with him until he drives me mad.
Yeah. ABC, which one? How many of you choose A? Okay, how many choose C? Actually, in company, many people chose C. And I went for the company program. They said, as long as he doesn't drive me mad, I can work. Beyond that, I also have a limit. Again, when you say you have a limit, you are disempowering yourself. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah.
Well, we are choosing answers here in the class. We can choose the best one. But when it comes to reality, these things are unavoidable. So, is it mandatory that we always be the best, or we can work with even having some shortcomings with us?
Yeah. See, at least we should know what is ideal behavior. What is ideal behavior? We can say that this is what I would aim at least. If you don't know what the ideal is, then how can you aspire for it? At least we should choose the ideal. If you choose this one, C answer, says I can work with him until he drives me mad, then you fix up your mind in that and you think that this is ideal. Okay, that's all. Beyond that, I have my limits. So, actually, Vaishnava means we have to learn what is ideal conduct. Because, see, we all come from the crude material world outside after millions of lifetimes of wandering. So, naturally, suddenly to behave like a swan like Vaishnava is not easy for us. We have seen our spiritual master and Prabhupada, they are all very exalted. But at least we should know this is the standard that is expected of any devotee. So, if I speak this language, I can work with him until he drives me mad. So, then such language will also come while talking with people. Therefore, we go for ideal. I can control my own feelings. And also, controlling feeling doesn't mean you shut up the feelings and bury pent-up feelings, which will come out in an ugly way later. Controlling feelings also means to honestly express it to your superiors. See, Prabhu, he is giving me this trouble, but I can tell you that I will continue working with him, not that I drop the job. Huh? Give the mic to him. Hmm.
Prabhu, let's say there is situations. For example, this slate program is there. My nurse Prabhu just asked me to arrange Vyasasan for you. And Vyasan is I kept somewhere in the outside of the room somewhere. And it is known to our whole leadership group. Another leader come and he took the Vyasan and he arranged it for Temple Bhagavatam class.
Okay, he took it. Okay.
And now it is the time I come at, because I kept properly. I come at 8:10 and looking for Vyasan, it is gone. And there is no way that I can get by 8:15. So obviously it is natural for me to feel anxiety,
Correct, yeah.
upset.
Correct.
And when I asked that other leader, then Prabhu, did you ask me? Is it required to ask you? Bhagavatam class is there. I have to go there. Put it. What is wrong? You are in something else, no? So how should we? And this is one of our respective leader, let's say. So
Yeah.
how will deal with
And that's the reason many temples they put chain for the chairs. You see, in Pune, because chairs have got 4 legs, they will walk outside here and there. See, although chairs cannot walk on their own, there are other fellows who take the chair. Like Prabhupada says, you keep a sack of rice, a sparrow comes, eats a little bit and goes, dog comes, eats a little bit and goes. But a man comes, he will take the whole sack. So there is a tendency in the jivas to do such things. So now that behavior of the person is a little passionate. One who is saying, do I have to ask you, for yeah. So how do we deal with such kinds of people? See, this is the point. Coming to the slate class will make you a more and more conscious leader. And you can see that this living entity is suffering from passion. This living entity is ignorant. This living entity has envy for that living entity. So I should not talk about that living entity to this living entity. I should not talk. Like I went to one city where I went to 2 temples. So I told about the glories of one temple leader to another temple leader. That was a mistake I did. As soon as I said, he took my 2.5 hours in telling so much blasphemy about the other person. I said, no, I have to go here. He told, you cannot go. You have spoken something for which I have to rectify your wrong understanding. 2.5 hours I had to hear. After that, one episode, I learned a lesson in my life. In the same city, if there are multiple leaders, devotees, don't talk about one leader to another, glories especially, because we don't know what relationship they share. We don't know. So everybody has a different experience. The person may be same person. From him, one has a good experience, one has bad experience. So we learn like that. In the same manner, I feel that your intention was good. You arranged for the Vyasasan to be brought and suddenly you found it missing. Somebody takes it. So now we go and ask the devotee, Prabhu, this Vyasasan I was planning to take for another class outside. You have put it for the temple now. Do you have any other Vyasasan? Alternate Vyasasan? Can you ask? Can you provide if you ask? Then probably he may not respond that way. Now what happens? Now if I say that, Prabhu, I kept the Vyasasan for that program, how did you take it without asking me? Then he thinks you are in charge for that. And you are in charge for that Vyasasan. And he may ask you, Prabhu, are you the authority in the temple that you are in charge? And then we have to ask you to take anything. Then he also speaks in that tone. Yeah. Give the mic to him.
Yeah. Prabhu, in this situation, it's known that this person is responsible for arranging Vyasasan. It's known already. And everybody is aware of it. And that devotee who did it, it is not that he intentionally take away, but unintentionally, this is also on service. He just took it.
Correct.
Yeah. It's not that he doesn't know that.
Actually, in this world, Prabhu, always the fight is for, whether others did things with my permission or not. This is always the biggest question in the world. Like you heard the story of the mother-in-law, no? When she heard that the daughter-in-law had told no alms to the beggar, she became angry. She called the beggar back to home. She said, how can she say that there is no alms at home? I am the queen of the house, she said. And the beggar said, sorry madam, I didn't know that you are the leader. Okay, now you gave me alms. She said, no alms, get lost, she said. And the beggar said, but you called me, so I came. She said, yes, the right to say no alms is only with me, not with my daughter-in-law. So here you see the both are competing to be the authority, but poor beggar didn't get anything. In the same manner, that is why I told you the spiritual management, material management, when you see the spiritual management, who's at the top? The divine couple, Radha, Madan, Mohan. They are at the top. We are all this is their palace, Madan Mohan palace. And we are all servants in this palace, working. So you are a servant, I am servant, she is servant, all of us are servants here. So when you adopt that consciousness, if some living entities are in a passionate mood, we can understand that let me not go near and let me not tamper with his false ego. Because like if a tiger is sleeping, you twist his tail, he'll jump up immediately. Similarly, if somebody is having a passionate disposition, you try to, little bit twist their passion and they show their ugly nature. Correct, no? So to avoid the situation of them showing ugly nature, great souls also behave very humbly towards passionate people. Like Prabhupada dealing with Allen Ginsberg and people like Yoko George Harrison and all. Prabhupada, they're all big people. Prabhupada was very careful not to, he will circumvent their false ego and deal with them. Circumventing means like this. You don't directly hit the false ego like that. So when two questions you ask, one is, I had kept Vyasasan, why did you take it without checking with me? This question tampers with their ego. Now if you ask, Prabhu, I think you needed the Vyasasan for the class. Do you have any other Vyasasan which I can take for my class? That goes like this. That serves the same purpose without tampering with his ego. And these are the things we learn in this class when we are dealing with a situation. Like you see, Jadabharata is walking in a zigzag way. And our Rahugana is sitting at the top. What you should ask, my dear man, all the other palanquin carriers are walking properly. Why you are going in a zigzag manner? What is the reason? If you ask like that, then Jadabharata would say, see, how can we put our foot on the ants? The ants cannot be crushed because there is a jiva residing in every living body. The moment he says that, immediately Rahugana can immediately understand that he is a realized soul. Instead of asking like that, now Jadabharata, what he said, hey man, you are very thin and you are carrying the palanquin all alone, and that too for a long distance, like that he spoke. So he spoke in a very sarcastic manner. He was just now carrying, he says you are carrying a long distance and he's carrying with 3 other people. He's saying you are carrying alone and you are very thin, he says. But actually Jadabharata was very fat. So he just spoke in a way improperly. So then our Jadabharata, being an exalted soul, he didn't become angry because he was not driven by passion. He tolerated it, and he just slightly smiled and then continued walking. Yeah. And then king, seeing that this fellow is still not hurt, because the goal of sarcasm is what? To prick a person. Just like sometimes people want a bull to run fast, they twist the tail, He is wondering, king, Hare, I pricked him, still he is mildly smiling and walking. Then who became angry now? King became angry. Rahugana became angry. He said, hey, even after I sarcastically scolded, still you don't understand? I can punish you like Yamaraj punishes, the Yamaraj and Yamadutas, they punish the people in the hell. I am a king of the country. Mind you, don't understand who I am. And all the citizens are under me. That kind of tone he spoke. And then Jadabharata felt, this is a pious king, but now he has become very driven by passion. Not good. He thought like that. He's actually going to Kapilashrama for hearing a Bhagavatam class. On the way to Kapilashrama, a pious king is becoming driven by passion. Can you imagine how this material world is? Dangerous place it is. So he took pity on the king. Compassionately, he wanted to preach a few words to him, so that, I became a deer because of carelessness. You don't become one by your carelessness. Better you learn the lessons. So keeping that in mind, Jadabharata spoke words of wisdom, and immediately Rahugana got off the palanquin and sought forgiveness and wept loudly, and he said, Naham Shanke, Suraj Vajra, Natrakshachula, Nayamasya Dandat, like that he spoke out the verse. Shanke, Brisham, Brahmakulava Manat. I don't want to offend a great soul like you. Whatever I have spoken till now, I take it back. Please forgive me, don't take it to your heart and everything. He celebrated him and then he made him his guru and he became a disciple and everything was settled there. You see that. So these kind of encounters, what Jadabharata Rahugana had, we can encounter even in our temples even today. Similarly, like you gave a nice example. Yeah. Now, somebody has kept something somewhere. Like for example, I have kept in a vati 4 gulab jamuns on my table. And I have kept it for a guest to give. And the guest is just coming in 5 minutes. So I just go to the bathroom and I come back. And I find it missing. Because somebody has taken it and given to somebody else. And I don't know who is that somebody. I don't know. That fellow doesn't say also. Now I can tell him, hey, chor, kaun hai chor? And that devotee comes running. Prabhuji, aapne mujhe chor bola hai aapne? And I didn't say you are chor. Some chor I said. I said, some thief had taken away. He said, Prabhuji, I only took it, Prabhuji. He started crying. He said, you are calling me a thief, Prabhu. I am a Krishna devotee, Prabhu. I am offering everything to Krishna. You are calling me a thief. I said, you are not thief. Somebody took it. So, later on, I became careful before I comment about anybody. Instead of calling that fellow a chore, what I can say? Hey, who took my... Yeah, the gulab jamun I kept for the guest. Then they may make an announcement and bring that fellow who took it. Then I'll tell him, see, without asking me, you've taken, so bring me one more. One more vati of gulab jamun, bring, I'll give it to them. I can say that. So I became more and more careful also in my dealing with people over the years. Because sometimes we don't intend what we say. But they get hurt, people get hurt very easily. But that was a good example Prabhuji gave. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. If you are superior. If you are in this position and you have to... correct. Correct. Yeah. Is sound coming? Is it on? Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, but sometimes when we are in an authoritative position and we have to give some service, there are two people who are not very cordial with each other. And
Amongst them.
Yes, amongst them.
Yeah.
So is it a good idea to put them together or to keep them separately?
Because it is always good to keep them separate.
Because they may create difficulties for other and spoil the service many times. We see that.
Actually, it is good to keep them separate so that they are peaceful. In Kanishta Adhikaris, sometimes cannot work together. So keep them away. And then when they become more mature, then they may become intelligent enough to deal with one another. But what I was telling was sometimes it is not always possible to separate. Say in Yatra, you are taking girls with you. Say you are putting 4 girls in one room. But one girl is saying that I have a problem with one of the 4 girls. You put me in another room. But all the other girls, the other rooms are saying, we are all friends with each other. We don't want to bring anybody in. 4, 4, 4, 4. Like that, 5 rooms you have booked. So 20 girls are gone. So in one room, one girl wants to pull out, but you have no other alternative. You tell her that just adjust, don't talk to her, you may say. But she may say, no. Even if you give us a hall like this, if she is there, I can't be there. Some people say like that, correct, no? Then it becomes difficult. That's why I'm saying, like if she says, she makes me so mad. So what you can say, I control my own feelings. And if she is in this corner, I'll be in that corner. If she goes to this corner, I'll go to that corner. Don't talk to her. The room is big enough for you. Just stay. You don't have to have interaction with her. Because all the time you are not staying in the room. You are going for yatra. Night you are going to sleep. No need to unnecessarily confront her. You can say like that. We have to also teach our people to learn tolerance. If they don't learn tolerance, people cannot stay with their spouse also. Husband and wife cannot stay together. Actually, there are 5 qualities. Once I heard my spiritual master was saying, he said, humility, tolerance, patience, respect, and gratitude. These 5 qualities are required in any relationship. Humility, both have to be humble. And why we have to be humble? Many times if you are not humble, people will misunderstand you, even if you say the right thing also. Right thing also you should say humbly, not arrogantly. And tolerance is required. Why? Because things in this world, always you will see, if you lit a fire, smoke also comes. So we have to tolerate things not going as per our will and wish. Sometimes it may happen as they like, sometimes not. And patience means Rome was not built in a day. Similarly, people grow gradually. Don't expect them to grow overnight. That is patience. And forgiveness means, yes, despite our preachings and guiding people, still they will commit mistakes. If we kick them away, they are gone. But if we can accommodate them, Prabhupada said, don't remove them, reform them, he says. So that is forgiving and reforming them. And gratitude. We should always look back and see what this person has done, for Prabhupada's mission or for me. So be grateful to them. What is the 5 qualities? Humility, tolerance, respect. Respect actually means valuing the unique individuality of everybody. Actually, the more you know about an individual, you know that this is the nature of this person. Respect it. Give them that breathing space to grow. They will take time to grow. Respecting actually means like 5 fingers are unique. This is the challenge finger, this is the Sambodhan finger, the tallest finger, the thinnest finger, this is the ring finger. Every finger has its characteristics. Similarly, we should know about the people in our custody. And then give them the respect means, like Prabhupada knew the limitations of the hippies. He was not having a, utopian idea that hippie can do anything. He was aware. So by being aware and allowing them breathing space and time to grow, that is respect. So in this way, like, can we do one more? They won't allow that, he's saying. Can you read the 3 things, one of you? Yeah.
Can you make me understand the difference between tolerance and patience?
That's the
Tolerance
difference.
and patience.
There are 2 things to be tolerated. You have to tolerate anger, you tolerate lust. You have to tolerate lust and tolerate anger. So lust is like provocation, what Haridas Thakur had to tolerate. The provocation of lust. Correct, no? And Durvasa Muni could not tolerate anger while dealing with Ambarish Maharaj. Correct, no? Because he thought that he didn't respect me, he drank some Charanamrit, he made a mole into a mountain and made a big issue about it. So we all need 2 types of tolerance. One is to tolerate the lust within, which is due to kama vasanas and everything. And angry provocations which come because of external stimuli from others. So both are coming under tolerance. And patience means what? Like for example, patience means dhairya. Like Prabhupada says, if a man and woman are married, the wife has to be patient to get a baby. She has to be patient. Like if you see Diti and Kashyapa, was Diti agreeable to be patient? Because she was envious of her co-wife, Aditi. You have given them children, you have not given me child. So she wanted a child in the evening time, twilight time. The husband said, be patient, at the right time I will give you. She was impatient. So 2 fellows came out. Who? Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakeshwar. Came out of impatience. So one has to be patient. Correct, no? Similarly, we say in Bhakti also, one boy told me, Prabhuji, I am chanting 16 rounds for last 3 months, still no tears are coming in my eyes. He's very impatient. He's expecting tears within 3 months only. I said, Arey, there are fellows practicing 20, 30 years. So that is patience. You understand the difference? Okay, read the answers, Prabhu. They won't allow that.
They may not allow due to their bias towards the other department. B. I would have explained my position better, but their perceptions about me stop them from allowing me. C. I can create an effective presentation.
See, for example, you want to do something special. You want to do something. You say you want to do your own Rath Yatra, for example. You may say that, hey, no, we are in this sector or that sector. We may not be allowed. They may not allow us to do this. We may sometimes think like that. Or we may say that we are so-and-so Guru's disciple. So this fellow will not allow because we are that Guru. That's a bias they have, we may think. Or you may say that I had a tussle with that leader some years ago. So he has certain perceptions about me, due to which he may not allow me to conduct my Rath Yatra in my area. He will use his leadership, political strength to suppress me. He will not allow. You may feel like that. And like that he says. The third one is I can create effective presentation. So out of the three ABC, yeah, how many of you agree for C? Okay. Anybody says B? Okay. A? Okay. Yeah, see. See, sometimes if you give an effective presentation, it may be accepted. Huh? We don't have to be closed. Because if you worry about the perceptions they have or bias or things like that, then you become handicapped. Then you will never give a presentation. Then it remains as it is. Yes, Prabhu. Give the mic to him. See, in one temple, one of my students is there. He went to the president and said he wanted to take initiations from my students Radhanath Maharaj. He wanted to take. But in that community, all are disciples of that local guru. So the president has been telling the boy, no, you have to become more pure, more advanced in spiritual life. Now this boy is chanting for 6 years now, 16 rounds. Prabhuji, in one year and all, you are sending people initiation. What purity I don't have, you tell me. Huh? I will bring that purity and then you can initiate. You have to become more submissive in your attitude to me, he said. Then, okay, how am I not submissive? Tell me so I can learn. He said, you are starting program here, there. Then this boy started calling the leader for programs. So you also come and give program. He glorified that leader like anything. He put a very big garland for him and gave him a big feast of prasad. And 1 or 2 years he did that. Now 8 years he's youngster notes. Then he asked Prabhuji, are you happy with me now? He said, I am little happy, not totally happy. I still have more expectation from you. He said, what is expectation, Prabhuji? Why don't you take from local guru? Right now, today only I will pass you. Within a week you will get. He said. And the boy said, no, Prabhu, my heart is attracted to that guru, not the local guru, He said, then you will have to wait. See, I already told you, if you take from local guru, quickly you will get. Otherwise you have to wait. So this leader is unreasonable leader. Correct, no? Yeah. So there are a couple of boys who are stuck like that in one community. And I told these boys, if their leader is so unreasonable fellow, you leave that community and go to another community where people are reasonable leaders will be there. But these fellows have parents in their community, so they don't want to leave the home and go to another place. But there are unreasonable leaders also like that, who are it's called nepotism, favoritism, guru groupism and all we say like that. So in case you find a leader unreasonable like that, then one has to think, you should approach another leader and complain. One should go to see this leader is not allowing me to go for initiation. Only 8 years I am waiting and things like that. Like one boy, when he wrote to me, I wrote to the president directly, Prabhu, what's your problem? He said, no, Radheshyam Prabhu, there's no problem, I will pass him. Immediately he passed. When I made a phone call, I wrote, then he passed. But this leader is a bigger fellow. So sometimes people do like that. So, but still we should always think that I can give a more effective presentation. Then we may be allowed. Yes, Prabhu.
I got my answer, Prabhu.
Next one, I can't explain to them. Please read that. 3 answers.
I can't because I know all my talks will fall in their deaf ears.
Correct.
B. I choose not to because I prefer to try another route. C. I can't because they will simply waste my time.
See, what is the situation here? Sometimes you try explaining to somebody, but that person is not understanding. How many of you experience? Correct, no? Isn't it? No matter how much you explain. So why people don't understand? Simple thing. See, it's falling in deaf ears. Or even after you have spoken for hours, that fellow doesn't understand. So you have this challenge sometimes with some people. That is because they may have some emotional attachments. Correct, no? Like one simple example I'll tell you. One BV leader wants to send one candidate for initiation. But the candidate is unqualified. One example I'll tell you. 10 questions I asked one candidate in Pune. 9 questions he answered perfectly. The 10th question was, what happens to soul after death? He said the soul goes and merges in Brahman. Like that he said. You know, I immediately rejected him. Now his leader, he is telling me, Prabhuji, 90 marks mil gaya na usko. You have to send him. He is saying 9 out of 10 he answered. Then I told him, see, your candidate is like a fellow without head, I told him. Without hand, we can tolerate. A body without hand, you have seen. A body without leg, you have seen. But have you seen a body without head walking on the road? Out of the 10 questions, I said, this is the most important question. If you pass him for initiation, Prabhupada will be wild. You know, already Prabhupada is Nirvishesha Shunyavadi. Prabhupada will take a stick and run behind this fellow. Because I said, you cannot send him. But he was not understanding because of his emotional attachment to the counseling. So, sometimes explaining to him becomes difficult. Then what I did, I got a team of 4 or 5 people. And I made those people discuss among themselves and I told them to explain to him. They took 2 hours to explain to him. At last he understood. Yes, Prabhuji, sab logon ko aise lag raha hai, theek hai. Yeah, then he understood finally. So, what would you choose out of the 3? Yeah? B, or C, or A? How many of you say B, B? Okay. Anybody says C? Anybody says A? No. Unanimous vote, huh? Correct. Okay. Okay, now he says, I must do this work even if sky falls to ground. He says, read the 3 answers, yeah?
Hare Krishna.
That's true.
How is it possible that a person is answering 10 out of 9 questions rightly? He doesn't know the basic philosophy.
Yeah, correct.
How it is possible?
Yeah. Actually, because this fellow comes from another guru before, one Mayavadi guru, he was into some Maharashtrian, some other guru's thing. They have this Akkal Court and all these things people have. And they have not read Prabhupada books properly. But many times what happens, the counselors in Pune, what they used to do in those days, I used to conduct tests myself. So one fellow secretly recorded all the questions I ask, and then they prepare. These are the questions Radheshyam Prabhu will ask. They tell their people, प्रभु जी बहुत philosophical है प्रभु जी, लेकिन जो भी प्रभु जी पूछते हैं ना हमारे पास record है उसका. Then they would teach all the questions. Later on I started changing my questions. Then they told me, Prabhuji, what is this out of syllabus you are asking? I said, nothing is out of syllabus, everything is in Prabhupada's books. So some people recorded my questions without my knowledge, and then they trained their people. So that's why he answered, cut, all the 9 questions. Later on, instead of me interviewing, I made a 8-member committee in Pune. So different people asked different questions, correct now? In that also, some interviewing people did not know how to ask questions. They were asking, who wrote the song Samsara Davanala? Like that they asked. Many people don't know. It's a Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur wrote that poem. Many don't know. Then I asked interview people, don't ask memory questions or, don't ask, this kind of information questions. Ask questions which are related to Krishna consciousness. Correct, no? Yeah. How many kings were in the jail of King Jarasandha? 20,700. They may not know the number, What are the names of the 5 queens of Krishna? People are struggling. Prabhuji, Rukmini, Satyabhama, and one more name, what is that, Mitravinda? Other 2 they don't know, Bhadra and Nagnajite, what, Satya, yeah, Jambavati. So, they may not know. Don't ask this kind of memory questions. Remembering, and ask questions which will be related to the philosophy. Correct, no? So I have made about 50 questions. In fact, in age groups I have made also. I sent you, yeah. Below 25 we have tough questions. Between 25 to 40 we have simple questions. And above 45, 50, very simple questions. Because they are not very philosophical, this thing. So, yeah. Now, 3 answers, somebody can read that? I must do this work even if sky falls to ground.
I must do this despite my dislike because my boss is a taskmaster. B. I am supposed to do this if I have to maintain my job without being fired. C. I prefer to do this for my own future good, though it is a bit taxing my time and energy.
Yeah. How many of you say C? Okay. B? A? Okay. Correct. Good, all of you understood that. See, the A answer, if you see, this is something which many people speak. They will not tell in front of the boss, but privately they will say, "Arey, he's a task master. छोड़ने वाला नहीं है वो. Huh? He's not going to leave you. पीछे पड़ेगा वो. Huh? करना ही पड़ेगा. Huh? Otherwise, you will get too many phone calls, too many WhatsApp messages. Better I do, they say like that. Or some people think that my survival in the company depends on slogging now, so I will slog. So these attitudes are not very good. And if one thinks that sometimes even if a bit of stretch is good only because it increases your capacity over a period of time. Even in seva also, sometimes we should not be in the comfort zone, we should not be in the panic zone. The stretch zone is good. Stretch yourself a little bit. Like this Rath Yatra week now. We have multiple Rath Yatras in many places. A lot of hard work congregation is putting. So if we also stretch a little bit, we get a lot of mercy. Those who are willing to stretch a little bit, they get mercy. Yes.
Prabhu, sometimes after attending this kind of seminars, we get to know what is exactly to be done. And some of them, this answers we might be knowing earlier also. But sometimes situation happens that either I am not up to that mark to follow that, or situation doesn't allow me to do that. So, what is the best course to reach there?
Correct. So when the situations are not allowing, we can pray to Krishna to, help us get out of the situation. Like one devotee was telling me, he has 3 daughters to get settled in marriage, and he has a job which doesn't pay him good enough money, and he has very limited, meager savings. Still, he gives some donation to temple, some amount. But he always says, Prabhu, when I see all of you working so much, I want to give I want to give millions of rupees to temple, but my circumstances are not favorable. Then I used to tell him that, okay, when you cannot give artha, then you can give your preaching. You can preach to people and bring. Everybody cannot give money. Then you can become a preacher and bring devotees to temple. So when situations are posing limitations for us, then we can try to serve in another way. One example I'll tell you. Sampati is a brother of Jatayu. So he had burnt his 2 wings because when he flew up in the sky above Jatayu, the wings were burnt by the sunlight when we went very high. So he had come to the ground. Later on, when Vanaras met him, Sampati said, right now I cannot take all of you guys to Lanka by flying. But I can serve Lord Ram with my mouth, he said, by telling you the truth about Sita. And then he told, when Ravana was flying in the skyway carrying Sita, that time my son was out. He watched it. With his own eyes he saw it. And then Sita had dropped the jewelry and everything. So he said that was observed by my son. He came and told me. So now he has taken her to Lanka. With my telescopic eyes, I can see the Trikut Parvat, where Ravana is living in a big golden palace. So Sita is there only. So he said, in the event of my not serving with my wings, I can serve with my mouth. Similarly, everybody is having some limitation. We can serve in another way. Yeah. So now you all got an idea of proactive speech, correct, no? So basically, now you captured the spirit of this topic now, which means we should always think in an empowering way. So what is the meaning of empowering thinking? Who can say? I told you in the beginning. How can you empower yourself? One is open-minded. Be open-minded, that's true. Don't get into blame game. Then what we should do? If we shouldn't blame others, what we should do? We should always ask the question, how best can I serve in this given situation with these limitations? How best can I serve? That's what we should ask. We shouldn't blame anybody. Like in America, when I am traveling now, many temples are telling me, Radheshyam Prabhu, you are very generous devotee. You have given so many brahmacharis to so many temples in India. Please give 5 brahmacharis to us. Everywhere people ask like that. So then I came up with one model. I told them ISO. I stands for inspiration. S stands for strategy. O stands for operational help. Inspiration means I told them that I can arrange very smart preachers from India to give you lectures online regularly. For your temple, I will allot some brahmacharis. They will give regular lectures, inspirational lectures to your youths who may be coming to your temple or to congregation also. Then strategy means one step ahead. I will make them responsible for giving you youth preaching strategies and guide your congregation preachers to become youth preachers. So they will give ongoing. Every week you can have meeting with them, Zoom meeting with them. That is strategy planning. Thirdly, operational help means I will send students to study in American universities and stay in your temple and go for the studies. Or I will try to send brahmacharis in future also, one or two. That is operational help. So many temples are very happy with this ISO model. Because I cannot give operational help everywhere, but I can give strategy help and inspirational help. Correct or not, isn't it? So we should always ask, how best can I serve within the limitations? Rather than, like in America now, I don't have any brahmacharis to help there, except one or two, But everybody is grihastha there. So I started youth preaching with grihasthas only. Like in Baltimore, we have 15 grihasthas who are doing preaching to university students. Similarly, we have Boston also. We have grihastha devotees who are helping in youth preaching. So those grihasthas told me, Prabhuji, we have no experience of preaching to youths at all. We have been talking only to congregation. But I told them, don't say you have no experience. Learn it now. If you throw somebody in water, they will learn swimming. That's how they are learning now. And when they have any questions, they'll send me the questions. I'll send the answers back to them like that. And when I go there, I will do youth retreat camps, bringing all the youths together like that. Maybe if this becomes successful in America, then we can implement in India also, that we can have many congregation, grihasthas, Prabhuji Mataji, preaching to the college boys and girls, and making a big group of, then practically we can go to hundreds of colleges if congregation starts preaching to youths. Very nice it will be. Because congregation can be like parents for the youths. They can actually offer very good care and encouragement. In Pune, some are doing, few are doing, but in America we have started only with that. That's the facility we have there. We have to do with what we have. Don't blame what you don't have. So now you understood this topic very well, proactive, reactive. See here he says here, in the midst of the most degrading circumstances imaginable, great souls have recognized that between the external stimuli and our response, you have a freedom to choose. See, if we are in Tamoguna, we have no freedom to choose. Tamoguna means we are dragged by situations. Rajoguna means we choose and make decisions which are partially right, not fully right. Because a passionate person has a limit of his humility. He has a limit for patience. He has a limit for tolerance. Whereas a person in Sattva-guna, the Sattva-guna person can give a very wise and well thought out choice, which you all did now in that activity sheet. Okay, now have you done this activity already? Is Vasudev proactive or reactive? Yeah. So because, why is he proactive? Who can give the reason for that? Why is Vasudeva proactive according to you? Give reason. Srinivasa Prabhu, yeah.
So in that situation, it was a tough situation, but Vasudev maintained his calm and he tried to choose different approaches by which he can at least immediately control the situation, and then later on we can think how can it be controlled further. To take immediate control of the situation, he proactively thought and he started using logic and reasoning to Kamsa. So the first argument he gives is, you have a very good name, and when people come to know that you're trying to, kill your own sister, your name will be spoilt.
Your reputation will be gone. Yes. Yeah, correct.
And secondly, he said, ultimately death is already decided. Why are you so afraid of death? So that way he started some chain of arguments and tried to convince.
Because he knew, I can't run away from the situation, nor can I take a sword and attack him back. Fight, flight, both will not work in that situation. So when we are in a fight-flight situation, then one has to be very mature and patient. Like I say, a daughter-in-law has newly come to her mother-in-law's house. Any girl newly married expects that my mother-in-law should behave exactly like my mother. They come with that expectation. Is it possible? It's possible. Some cases it's possible. It's not that it's never possible. How can you assume it's never possible? Sometimes mother-in-law may be more good than mother also. In some cases, quite possible. But in some cases, it's not possible. So, Dwarkadish Prabhu Vishaka Premataji used to say, mother-in-law should be like mother-in-law. So, if she lovingly deals with the daughter-in-law, then daughter-in-law will not feel I am in an alien place. Correct now? But oftentimes, there is a little bit of acidic relationship because mother-in-law wants to be queen of the house. And daughter-in-law says, you are no more queen, you are old now, I am queen now. So when two queens fight for the post, then it is a very miserable situation, and the poor man who is between both of them, he is like Mridanga, both sides, he suffers very badly. He is unable to pacify either of them. It's a very difficult situation. So now the daughter-in-law situation is also fight-flight situation. Why? She want to run back to her parents' home. But will her parents be happy? Or she is angry with the mother-in-law. She want to punch on her nose. Can she do that? So she can do neither. She can't be angry with mother-in-law also. She can't run to her home also. And the husband also goes to office. And she's sitting at home. Only mother-in-law and daughter-in-law are sitting at home. And the mother-in-law keeps on saying, why didn't you clean this place? Why didn't you wash that? Why didn't you do this? And she's thinking, nobody ordered me like this. I was like a princess at home. Actually, many of the educated girls, they order their mother to do many things. Mama, get that. Mama, do this. You've seen that? But they have lived a very carefree, princess-like life. Now here, mother-in-law is saying, hey, isko utao, isko clean karo. She's thinking, who is this boss who is ordering me to do this? She can't run away. And that is one reason why many girls like to go for a job. Because they don't like to be at home. Because mother-in-law is always telling, do this, do that. Yeah. So that is a fight-flight situation. The more she is at home, the fever increases. The fight increases, isn't it? But if a daughter-in-law is mature, she allows the mother-in-law to be the queen of the house. Okay, I surrender. You are the queen now. And the more the mother-in-law gets respect, her affection for daughter-in-law increases. You will see that. My daughter-in-law is such a simple girl. She is. She's so submissive. Even before I can order her, she does everything. She cleans the place, she washes the place, she cooks everything. She tells me, mother, she treats me like a mother only. Many mother and daughter-in-laws call their mother-in-laws mother only. Have you seen that? Amma, they call. She treats me like a queen. She will never buy a saree for herself without buying first for me. She will never buy a jewelry for herself without buying one for me. And, she arranged for a doctor to come and take care of me so well. So when the mother-in-law, within her own heart, she thinks daughter-in-law is so good in dealing with me, she gives up that mentality of queenship. She tells her son that, beta, this girl is such a good girl, I want to empower her to do everything at home. Gradually you will find actual queen is daughter-in-law. The mother-in-law becomes completely surrendered and submissive to daughter-in-law. Because of, this is the secret of winning the heart of mother-in-law or husband also. Prabhupada says, Lakshmi and Narayana, the relationship is such that Lakshmi always wants to massage the feet of Narayana. But Narayana always tells her that enough now, you sit in my heart, in the heart he has a place for Lakshmi to reside as a golden hair. So Prabhupada says, this is the ideal relationship. Because she wants to serve and he wants her to rest. It shouldn't be the opposite. Now if Narayana is telling, hey Lakshmi, all the time you are sleeping, come out and massage my feet. And Lakshmi says, why do you always order me to massage your feet? Am I your servant? That's not like that. It's just the opposite. So fight or flight situation at home. Same with office also. Nowadays many companies are very demanding. Very demanding. Many companies are demanding 14, 16 hours of work. Imagine you are working in one such company, one of you. You want to run away from the company, correct now? You want to give up the job and take another one. Will your wife allow you? She will say that if you leave the job, then if you don't get another one, what will happen? Who will give you money? Continue working, let us see. Another job may come. If it doesn't come, work for 2 more years, she says. So if you go to company, you are angry with the boss. When you come home, wife doesn't allow you to resign the job. So what situation is it? Fight or flight. You can't fight with the boss, you can't flee away from job. Fight or flight situation. You have to tolerate. Like Vasudeva was in that situation. So as he rightly said, he very patiently, maturely he dealt with the situation. Yeah. And then recite the shloka 10.158. Identify the terms relating to proactivity in this verse. Let us see what is that verse. Anybody knows? You found it? 10.158. Yeah, very important verse. Please all of you can repeat this verse. Kim dussaham nu sadhunam vidusham kim apekshitam kim akaryam kadaryanam dustyajam kim duratmanam dustyajam kim dhritatmanam. See, kim dussaham. Saha means to tolerate. Dussaham means very difficult to tolerate. Nu sadhuna. What is that saintly devotees like Vasudev cannot tolerate? And then he's saying, Vidusham kim apekshita. And a learned persons, you know, what expectation do they have in this world? Which means they have no expectations at all from anybody. Bhaktivinoda Thakur defines humility means no expectations from anybody. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says in one of his writings. Vidusham kim apekshitam. They don't expect anything from anybody. Kim akaryam kadaryanam. Cruel-minded persons like Kamsa, what heinous and sinful activities they cannot do. Even like killing 7 children, 6 or 7 children, one after another. They can do such a horrible, nefarious acts they can engage. Kim akaryam kadaryanam. क्रूर लोगों के लिए अकार्य क्या है? What is the work they cannot do? They can do any nonsense. Dustyajam means very difficult to give up. Kim dhritatmana. For a determined devotee of the Lord, what is difficult to give up? Which means he can go and hand over one child to Kamsa, knowing well that the 8th child is going to be Krishna. Dustyajam kim dhritatmana. Vasudeva was determined that I have to bring the 8th child Krishna to this world. For that I am ready to sacrifice 6 children. He was ready. So like that he is saying here. Please read that. One of your translation. Who has the mic with you?
What is painful for saintly persons who strictly adhere to the truth? How could there not be independence for pure devotees who know the Supreme Lord as the substance? What deeds are forbidden for persons for the lowest character, and what cannot be given up for the sake of Lord Krishna by those who have fully surrendered at his lotus feet?
Yeah. Please read the purport. Yeah.
Since the 8th son of Devaki was to kill Kamsa, one might ask what the need was for Vasudeva to deliver the firstborn child. The answer is that Vasudeva had promised Kamsa that he would deliver all the children born of Devaki. Kamsa, being an Asura, did not believe that the 8th child would kill him. He took it for granted that he might be killed by any of the children of Devaki. Vasudeva, therefore, to save Devaki, promised to give Kamsa every child, whether male or female. From another point of view, Vasudeva and Devaki were very pleased when they understood the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna would come as their 8th son. Vasudeva, a pure devotee of the Lord, was eager to see Krishna appear as his child from the 8th pregnancy of Devaki. Therefore, he wanted to deliver all the children quickly so that the 8th turn would come and Krishna would appear. He begot one child every year so that Krishna's turn to appear would come as soon as possible.
Yeah. So, what are the terms relating to proactivity in this verse? So, what you understood? Yes, anybody? There is one hand up, one hand here. Yeah. One hand, Sakiradhika Mataji. There, yeah. There. And then you can answer after that. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, actually over here we understand that Vasudeva has been very thoughtful. In that extreme difficult situation, he gave an alternative to Kamsa that why you want to kill Devaki. The fear is from the 8th child. So first let us leave Devaki and let her give birth to children, and then I will personally, means I promise you that I will hand over the children to you. So at that
And that was
situation,
a
being
perfect
thoughtful.
answer, isn't it? Because that is the only thing that pacified Kamsa. That is the only thing. Because till then Kamsa was not ready. Even he was ready to lose his reputation also. And he was not understanding soul body concept and all. But when he said this one, what she said just now, then he became pacified. That was a very, very prudent decision. Otherwise he would have killed Devaki in the public, and there is no possibility of the Lord to appear without. Thank you. So that was a very thoughtful decision that he came up with. Yeah. Any other proactivity? Another proactivity is you can compare the 6 children versus Krishna. Now out of the two, which is very important? Krishna is more vital. Krishna has to appear in the world, paritranaya sadhunam, vinashaya dushkram dharma samsthapanarthaya. So for all the living beings, it's auspicious for Krishna to appear. And these 6 children, who are going to come one after another, they have to be given. Because without giving them, he will not be able to get the eighth child. So he weighed the pros and cons. So a person who is proactive is a person who weighs the pros and cons, just like we say Shreyas and Preyas. Correct, no? What is short-term goal? What is long-term goal? So one has to think deeply. So he thought, this is the way Lord is desiring to appear. Nothing can happen without his will. And then he agreed for that. So that is also another type of proactivity. Otherwise, without being proactive, if he was reactive, he would have taken a sword in the hand. But of course, he can take a sword, but all the other men around were all Kamsa's men. They would have caught him, he'll be put behind the bars, and Kamsa would have gone ahead killing Devaki. Then he will also get Vasudeva and kill him also. Finally, no possibility of any child coming. So thank you. That was, yeah. So before we go to this next one, my page number 7, we can take some questions till now what we have been discussing today on proactive reactive. If any of you had any discussion or questions. Yeah. Yes. Has the mic with you?
In the beginning of the class, we were discussing that dealing with different kind of people. That a little tangential. One question was there, Praji. When we talk with these people, those are connected to HCAM, not HCAM preachers, but people those are connected to HCAM. Like yesterday, now we are going to communities. There people come and they directly ask, are you from Bombay ISKCON or Bangalore ISKCON? So then, what to speak to them, Praji? Should we try to bring them to proper ISKCON fold, or they are not knowing actually what is the philosophy?
There's a lot of intermixing is happening because it's unavoidable, such mixing. Because in the same colony, they have program and we also have program. See, how do we see them? How do we see ourselves? Just like we have Gaudiya line, which is Gaudiya Mat. Gaudiya Mat is preaching same philosophy. Now we are preaching the same philosophy. But here, Prabhupada is at the top in ISKCON. Gaudiya Mat, Bhaksan Thakur is at the top. And they have certain things like Chaturmas and all which they do, which we don't do. Ours is more of a preaching mission. And there, many times they focus more on Shastric study and Tapasya, Gaudiya Mat. Now compare ISKCON and Akshay Patra, for example. Their books, our books are similar. It's not similar, same only. Prabhupada's books, same books they are using, same philosophy is same. Their mood, mission, and the style of preaching may be different. Our style of preaching is different. So what I generally do when I go to any kind of colony and people ask a question like that, I say that we are from ISKCON. HKM is from Akshay Patra. That is another group. It's like offshoot of ISKCON only. They were in ISKCON before. Now it's an offshoot of ISKCON. And we are this. And you are most welcome. They will ask where to go. Should I go there or should I come here? That's your choice. You come here and attend the class and see. You go there and attend and see. Whichever one suits you, you can decide. We say like that. We don't have to offend them. We can circumvent them. That's what I would do. Because, there also what happens in Akshay Patra also, not all of them are blasphemers of Guru system or anything. Some of them happen to be there, then they are just going on with that. There are a good number of them who peacefully practice without offending gurus, and they have got into the system long before they are unable to come out. They are just a part of the system. They are there. like that. So therefore, we neither offend them nor praise them. We take a neutral stand. You tell them that this is our program. You're starting here. If you wish to come here, you are welcome. If you want to go there, you go there. It's your choice. You can say like that. That's all right, huh? Yeah. Yeah. There are two hands up here. You can give the mic. Yeah.
Which is almost similar situation. Like we used to go for college book distribution. So many colleges, they would identify both group as same because they had the same tilak and everything was same. So they get confused because they have no idea. They feel
So
both
what you can tell them, don't get confused. Your college is so big that many programs are required. You can tell them. The temple from Banjara Hill, they are also coming and we are also coming. Because one college has 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 students are there. So what's wrong if 3-4 groups are preaching in the same college? Is there anything wrong? Like you see, in one program, we are accommodating 20-25 students only. So college has 2,000 students. We can have 3-4 groups preaching there. Like we have many temples, 2-3 temples preaching in one college also. In the same city, for example, in Bombay, in one college, 3-4 temples are preaching with understanding that, we will divide the group of students. You take first year, we take second year, we take third year, like that we do. So you can tell them, don't be confused. We have multiple groups because one group cannot handle such a big college. You can say like that. Then they'll be positive. And we don't have to say anything bad about anybody.
Not bad, but probably they want to know the difference, and we don't want to get too much into philosophical
Actually, they
discussion.
cannot understand the difference at this stage.
That's exactly.
You can tell them that ISKCON is original, started by Prabhupada. From that, they are an offshoot, and they are called Akshay Patra. Their focus is distributing prasadam on a large scale to the people and everything. Along with that, they also have the temples, and their philosophy is that Prabhupada is the last guru, according to them. But according to us, the Guru Parampara is continuing. I heard of Prabhupada also, Guru Parampara. That's the main difference. And if you want to know more, you continue chanting 4 rounds, 8 rounds, then you will understand these things. Like that you can tell them. That's the main difference. Yeah.
Hare
And
Krishna,
then
Prabhuji.
after that you can take as much. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. In this whole self-empowering behavior,
Yeah.
so controlling emotions, controlling mind is a main
Controlling
emotions and controlling mind.
You can keep the mic like this. Like this you can keep it. Yeah. Good.
Controlling mind plays important role. So in Krishna, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says one thing is abhyasa, second thing is vairagya.
Vairagya. What do you feed? What do you fence?
So
feeding and fencing. Yes.
Yes, I would like to understand what is that vairagya mean there.
Okay, I'll show you. See, feed your mind with good, clean, pure, powerful, and positive. What are the things you can feed the mind with the positive, good, clean, pure inputs? I'll show you. See, spiritual care means like watering the plant. Lakshatra Mahaprabhu said now, watering the plant is spiritual input like Shravanam and Kirtanam. So here I have shown in the top left corner, you see there is Guru and disciple, correct? Hearing from Prabhupada, hearing from spiritual master. That's one thing. Another one is devotee is chanting here, you see. Chanting to the divine couple. So hearing and chanting are the spiritual nourishment, abhyas. Then we need emotional and social care. So emotional care is the warmth of the sun. So we need a senior devotee, who gives personalized attention to us. And we can open our mind without a fear of ridicule or something, and we can take help from seniors. So that is emotional care. Just like the sunlight gives warmth to the tulasi. At the same time, the sun sometimes may be very hot. Correct? No? Therefore, tulasi, you keep it under the sun, sometimes in the shadow you keep it. Similarly, we need attention of seniors, but seniors should not be overly possessive also. They should not be possessive of their people. They should, how they should care, I will tell you. Just like a small hen, it comes. You've seen that small yellow color or pink color. You keep on throwing some grains, they will keep eating and looking for more. That's how we have to guide people. Because if you catch that hen to feed it, it gets frightened. You've tried that, any of you? You're catching it. It will think it's going to crush me now. Huh? So you keep putting like this, they will accept. Huh? So therefore, that type of sunlight also, warmth is required for the plant. And social care means, like, look at this picture. These fellows got the best of friends. Look at these two little girls in the middle, you saw, no? Little children. They're such good friends, you see. Here also on the right side, you see. So we need equal friends with whom we have an honest relationship, which is very, very rare in this world to get good friends. That gives us warmth also. Huh? This is how we develop the relationship. Opening heart, being accountable to seniors, respecting, valuing individuality, listening well, understanding before speaking, and also consulting, culture of consulting others, culture of sharing, seeing the sunny side of people, trusting and being. So all these things thick relationships will be formed there. If we focus on these different type of culture which are explained here. We all have a desire to have honest and thick relation with somebody, and this is a way to that. So you have spiritual support, then you have emotional support, social support. Then the soil for the plant is physical. You need a healthy body. So you need a healthy body. Okay. See, and you can empower the mind by study of the wisdom literature like Bhagavad Gita, chanting mantra, and study of scripture can help you discriminate right from the wrong and pick up good habits, morality and all that, ethical behavior, all those things. Now fence your mind from bad, unclean, impure, weakening, negative inputs. This is your question, correct? No? That's coming now. If you see this tree is being blown by the wind, it's going to be uprooted. Or here you find the goat is coming and eating the plant. It was not properly fenced. Similarly, we need to know how to fence our devotional creeper. So what is Kaviraj Goswami saying? Surround yourself with seriously practicing devotees, he's saying. Flank yourself with seriously practicing devotees around you. Which means, what is the meaning of surrounding yourself? Every one of us sitting here, you are in touch with some devotees. Correct, no? You can't be in touch with 1,000 devotees. It's not possible. But those devotees whom you are in touch with, evaluate them. Are these people uplifting me or degrading me? You have to ask the question. Are they speaking prajalpa, useless talk, or some talking ill of others and things like that? Or they are bringing you closer to Krishna by reading Prabhupada books together or sharing something very enlivening for you. So we all should check whether the associations that I am having is uplifting. Either it is uplifting or neutral or degrading. So out of the three, we should choose uplifting association. That's one fence. Another fence is the 4 regulative principles. Is another fence. He says, strictly one should follow. Now in the 4 regulative principles, the most difficult regulative principle is illicit sex. You may wonder why. See, if you read any Prabhupada purport, Prabhupada says no illicit sex. Then he says no meat eating. Then he says no intoxication. Lastly, he says no gambling. This is the order in which Prabhupada writes. So, big demigods have fallen prey. Like, for example, you see moon god, what is his name? Soma. You will find that when he had a very handsome body, when Brihaspati had gone to heaven during that festival, his name is Buddha. What is his name? Soma's son? Buddha. Buddha, when he was put on the throne, he became very proud because he was very handsome. At that time, Brihaspati's wife saw Buddha's opulences and she became fascinated. And when Brihaspati was about to return, his wife was not coming with him. So he asked Buddha, how is it you are shamelessly keeping my wife with you? How can you behave like this? For that he said, what can I do? I am not after her, she is after me. She has seen my opulence, she is very attracted to me. You have no ability to satisfy your wife. That is why she has left you and she is coming with me. So I cannot ask her to go back. because she wants to be with me. What can I do? This kind of thing I gave. It's a very shameless answer it is. Because a man should see every other man's wife as a mother. Even if she follows the wrong path, he should have corrected her. Said that, hey, you are my mother. I am not supposed to enjoy you. You should be with your husband. Instead of correcting her like that, he misbehaved with her. Because of that, the moon had to undergo waxing and waning. That punishment came to moon after that, because of his erratic behavior like that. So, now, big demigods, you hear of them falling prey to man-woman relationship. So, that is the purpose is no illicit sex first. In communities, one important thing I wanted to share with you in communities, like ours, big communities, we have 1,000 devotees. While dealing between man and woman, we should be very conscious that the public is watching. Like in Pune, one Mataji was telling that one Prabhuji came in the public and glorified her. On some occasion, Mataji, you are like this, you are like that, And her friends were also there with her. And she is married, she has a family, and he is married and he has wife and children also. When he very much praised her in the public too much for like 4 or 5 minutes like that, she felt a little not so happy about that. Because later on her friends were sort of telling her that, how are you entertaining a man praising you so much in the public, And she said, what did I do? I am just standing and he's coming and praising. I didn't do anything wrong. She was telling her friends. And his friends also told him that, hey, why are you going and flirting with that Mataji? They asked him that he got angry with other devotees. Hey, why are you using such bad words? She's a Vaishnavi, I am a Vaishnava, we are just praising. But some of them told him that this is not proper. Because if you talk for a long time to somebody in the public, people will misunderstand you. Like that so this fellow came and told me that, how people can talk like this. We are all spirit souls, all of us. We are all part and parcels of Krishna. That is correct. Still, we should respect the fact that we are in one particular type of body. For example, you can keep a pussycat on your lap, but you cannot keep a tiger on your lap. Although in both the bodies there is same type of spirit soul. So there are some etiquettes to be followed. In ISKCON, we even follow Mataji's cook the prasad, but the Prabhuji should serve the prasad. How many of you know that? You know that? Brahmacharis come to your home. The Prabhuji should serve and Mataji are all to cook. Because if the Matajis are coming and serving the Prabhujis, there is some possibility of loving interaction. Because we say, Bhungte, Bhojete Chaiva. You see the picture, Advaita Acharya Prabhu and his wife are cooking very nice feast. And then, Sarum Bhattacharya and his wife are cooking. So, she has cooked and kept everything. But who is serving? Sarum Bhattacharya is personally serving Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is the etiquette to be followed. Now, if a mother is a very elderly lady, she's 60 plus, 60 or 70, she wants to serve the brahmacharis like a loving mother, that may not be objected. Sometimes mothers come and serve, they sit there and they serve. That is not taken as a very big blunder or mistake or anything like that. But especially when a woman is young, she is like up to 45 or 50, below that, it's not proper for her to serve the men. Personally. In Pune also we were keeping in those days, men were serving everybody, Matajis, Prabhujis, everybody used to take prasad like that. In the same, later on, we made 2 separate counters. For prasadam for men, only men will serve. And prasadam for women, women will serve. But the problem was, women are sometimes weak-bodied. They are not able to lift and serve. Upma, if you have to serve, it's very difficult for them. Then we put vanaprastha men to serve the women. Those who are like 70, 60, 70 years. Some vanaprastha men are strong men. Suppose 60 plus. Then they serve. Because we need some strong fellows to serve some items. Dal and dal is very easy to serve. Other items. Correct, no? We did that like that. Why we do this? This separation is very important. In Pune, we have a girl's voice and we have a boy's voice. So the girls used to go to boys' voice office and say, Prabhu, can we get a sound system? And we can get the mic. Now if a young girl goes to a boy's office and some interaction takes place, The girl may not be so much disturbed, but the boy gets disturbed. Huh? Because in this world, the men have weakness in their eyes, and women have weakness in their ears, according to Shastra. Actually, when like a man flatters a woman, she gets fooled by a man. It is said. That's why many times women are cheated by sweet-talking men. There is a Sanskrit term also for this. Those men who want to conquer women, they will boast about their richness and they will praise the woman too much. They will do that. And that's how they flatter the woman. So women have weakness in the ears and men have weakness in the eyes. So when some boys are getting disturbed when girls came to the office, so then I had made a very simple policy that the girls would tell their leader, who is Anangamayani Mataji, and she will tell her husband Jai Gopal Prabhu. And Jai Gopal Prabhu will go to the office and he will get the speaker and the mic and everything. And he will come and give it to whom? Give it to girls? He will give it to his wife. And then the wife will give it to the girls. You saw the electronic circuit? That means husband and wife can have interaction. But unnecessarily, a girl should not go to the Prabhuji's office and interacting with them. This kind of thing we did like that. And by doing this, we saw perfect, not a single episode came after that. No complication at all. Boys are very cultured, girls are very cultured. And also, this boy-girl interaction in WhatsApp should not be allowed. Of course, I can say it shouldn't be allowed. Somebody will be doing it. How do we stop it? But you will see that in marriage bureau, they had fixed one boy and girl for marriage. They were allowed to talk to each other. After that, the marriage was fixed 6 months later. In that 6 months, they had so much WhatsApp interaction, they quarreled and the marriage broke. Because it's foolishness, complete foolishness. Because, see, you have admiration from a distance. When you come near, all complications starts like that. So we have trained our boys, and the same man girls should be trained also. They may get to see each other in the temple hall or in a congregation program or something like that. But interaction should be completely reduced as far as possible. Otherwise, it will lead to illicit connections. Now, one is about what will people think if a man and woman are talking. Another thing is, in personalized interaction, it should be very Krishna conscious. Like I get many mails from many Matajis. I reply with somebody in CC. We reply. You should be very, very Krishna conscious when you interact with Matajis. Unnecessarily, one should not become a loose talker or casual talker. So casual talks may be very funny, but the casual talks in the long run will create problems. Like one Prabhuji in one community, he told Mataji that, Mataji, in this sari you look beautiful, you look like our Radharani. Like that he told. And that Mataji made it a very big thing. She said, how nonsense this fellow is talking. She went and told, many Matajis went up to the senior management, and senior management told this man, we'll throw you out of your position because you are talking, loose talking with Mataji. He said, Prabhuji, I told all spiritual words I told Radharani, I told the deities, everything. They said, still, the way you spoke, it is not proper. You should not have praised her like this. She didn't feel very happy. See, women are from Venus, men are from Mars, it is said. Why? Because their psychologies are different. Like if you take the head, according to scientists, this is left side, this is right side. For women, this side is active, brain. For men, this side is active. So this side is logical side. How do you remember logical side? L for left, you can remember. L, logical. Men have logical side. Women have creative side. Very much active. For example, say here is a fan. You switch on the fan and the fan is not working. What Mataji will do? She will at least tell 24 ladies. In the temple, you put on the fan doesn't work. What kind of fan these people have put? They will tell many people. And it will go round and round and round. At last, it will come to management that the fan is not working. Then they will not even know who said it also. It goes round and round. At last, they have to find out which is the fan not working and they have to repair. And men, what is their nature? Logical nature. As soon as a wife says, oh, there is so much problem. Summer is so hot. What kind of useless kaitan fan or some fan you brought at home? Very decorative fan, but doesn't work at all. Is there any woman in this world who can live in a home where there is no fan? Like that she will speak. But husband immediately will put a stool, take a spanner and try out, do this, do that, put this, put that. Then it's not working, he'll go and call electrician and set it right. So men are work-oriented. and women are talk oriented. You understand, no? Their natures are different. So women like to talk and man has to hear. Huh? And the man doesn't like to hear many times. And that is why there is quarrel. Either man has to hear or he has to solve the problem. Correct, no? So their psychologies are totally different. So that's the reason why interaction with women should be, actually, who can interact with women? If you can see them like gopis or like goddess of fortune, then we can interact. My spiritual master was telling once, in the woman name there are two words, so and so, like Radha, Devi, Dasi. If you treat her like a Devi, like a goddess, there will be no problem in dealing with any woman. Treat them like goddess. That is the way they have to be treated. But you treat them like a Dasi, you are gone. You are treating like that, they will dance on your head. Huh? You treat them like Dasi, you are selling. So once you are selling this. So, in this way, in the fencing, when we are talking, 4 regulative principles. See, none of us are going to eat meat, we are sure. Huh? But illicit sex, I told you elaborately because it's a very important thing. In our personal interactions, WhatsApp interactions, or dealing, because we are living in a community society, we should respect that, honor that. And then meat eating, and then intoxication, smoking, drinking, drugs and all, nobody will take. But people are taking cocoa chocolate, some congregations saying that Prabhupada allowed, Prabhupada never allowed. I can show you, I have an article on cocoa chocolates. Malati Mataji sometimes said that, in certain occasions, Prabhupada didn't object when some people were taking. Like that she said. And then taking clue from that, some people are thinking Prabhupada sanctioned and things like that. I have an article, I will give it to Murali Gopinath Prabhu. You can pass it on to congregation. Chocolate Prabhupada prohibited. And apart from Prabhupada's prohibition, there are many dangerous ingredients in it also. We can read that article. And intoxication. And last one is gambling. Gambling is another very important thing. Congregation is committing mistakes. There is an Amway. You all know Amway? Amway type of network marketing, I think. So some congregation people thought ISKCON is a very good network. We can get counselor system. You have catch the top fellow and get all his people. Some people started business and lot of devotees lost money in that. And the relationships became very acidic. So we don't want to create cleavage in congregation. We should never allow it to be floated in the congregation. If any of you observe that, we should stop it, surely. In Pune, one fellow said he will give some ideas for financial schemes and making big money in a short time. So he asked, can we conduct the class in the temple? I said, see, this is nothing to do with the temple. We don't want such matters in the temple. So then I traveled out of station. So what this fellow did, instead of doing in the temple, just outside the temple in one hall he did. And congregation thought he's an initiated devotee, he's a counselor also, and we can attend. They attended, some 200-300 people attended. And then when they followed that model, what he said, some people lost money, 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs. Then they started writing letters to temple authorities, saying that, Prabhuji, you are authorizing him to speak. We followed his model, we lost money, so temple should give us money. Like that they started writing. Then we told that such things should not be allowed anywhere in the temple campus, and temple will not take responsibility, for the different things. So we don't give financial advice, we don't give marital advice. Marriage also, whenever I recommend a boy or a girl, I tell them that I know the boy, he was a very good boy, as far as we know. But how he'll behave after getting married, that I cannot say. You all have seen that. Sometimes boy is also good, girl is good, but the probably graha dosha or something. When they come together, they start fighting. But this much I know. I don't know anything bad about the boy. He has been good. In college we have seen. Otherwise, the father of the girl will come and fight with you. You gave the boy, we are suffering. Now we will take you to police. So, therefore, those who are in leadership position, you have to be very careful in giving advice. So, in the fencing, if you see, first fencing is social media. You see, it's affecting our mental health. It distracts us from work. It also, we are cyberbullied. And we spend more time online than with family and friends in the same house. People are not talking to one another. It leads to depression. What happens in social media? People always put something and expect that I should get this one instead of this. Yeah, isn't it? I put a photo, how people are dealing. And leaders should be very careful. In one community, one counselor, or like Bhakti Vriksha leader, Prabhuji Mataji, that lady had put some very fashionable dress. She was in some, like a sleeveless and stylish dress with a cap and everything. They were probably in going on some tour or something. She put it in that, what do you call that picture they put? Huh? Status, yeah. She put it in the status. And some devotee in the community saw that and started sending it to many people. She has put this stylish photo and she's a counselor and she has 30, 40 people under her. Later on the matter came up to me. Then I told her, the counselors should dress modestly. Huh? They should look respectful. They cannot put such kinds of things. It doesn't look good. Huh? And otherwise, imagine if a husband and wife are giving pose and showing the heart and things like that. Huh? Posing and they're putting in the status. Does it look good? And that too in a very scanty dress. Maybe they are in a swimming pool or they are in the ocean beach or something. Can they put such thing in status? Why they cannot put? Because now they are not ordinary people. Now who are they now? Huh? One is their devotee. And plus, devotee plus one more thing. Huh? One more. They're representing. I am looking for the exact name. Huh? Their leader actually. So you are not only one of the devotees, you are also Yaddada Acharati Seshta. So if you are wearing a fashionable dress and posing, then others are also, all counselors will do the same thing. Correct, no? We should take care. That's why the social media is a big menace it is. Huh? So we can control it. Okay. Here, see the distraction here. Poor teacher, you see. Huh? So, in the fencing I have written, okay, I will show you only the fencing part, which I have written later on. This is the one which Mataji asked now. See, Abhyasena kaunte vairagyena cha grihyate. Prabhupada says here, the first and foremost practice is hearing spiritual wisdom of the Gita. This is very powerful, transcendental method for purging the mind. Detachment fencing. By detaching the mind from useless and harmful activities that increase mind's instability, one can easily learn vairagya, he's saying. So I have written the 4 regulative principles here. And also how to, see here I have written 5 ways to avoid distraction. You see? Keep social media distraction to a minimum. And break tasks into small pieces and little by little complete it. And prioritize your work with time management. And not spend too much time on phone. And delegate parts of your project to others also. This way we can get more time for ourselves by this. So many of us lose time in one of this. Surely. So this is also a discipline that we can follow to save Krishna's time. Okay, then mantra meditation I have written. Then this one Krishna says in the Gita, Vairagya is, all the 5 senses are pulling us, so we have to adopt the mode of tortoise. Withdrawing the senses, like here you see 2 examples are given. Withdraw the senses in Maya, no to Maya and yes to Krishna. That is tortoise. And below one is what? Snake charmer. He plays, no? Then the snake, you see how it is dancing. Similarly, our senses are compared to snakes and the tooth of the snake is compared to bhogavriti, enjoying mentality. So what the snake charmer does, he plays this. Similarly, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. We have to get intoxicated in the holy name. Then senses will dance according to tune. Then we can remove the tooth of, bhogavriti and, then sevavriti can be adopted. Then the snake is no more dangerous. These 2 examples Prabhupada gives in the purports in Bhagavad Gita. Then you see how to say no to bad habits. There are 3 things. Okay, Gigo. Garbage in, garbage out. Good in, good in, good out. So, what is that? These are the things you see here. What kind of books we read. This also. What kind of movies we watch. What type of music we hear. What type of friendships we keep. If you read Bhagavad Gita, if you're reading Harry Potter, then we get Harry Potter values. If you read Bhagavad, we get Bhagavad values. One of my friends watched this Exorcist movie. Exorcist. My Lord, 3-4 years that fellow became skinny. Because night when he would lie in the bed, he would see skeleton in the window. like they're laughing. Huh? So we should not watch movies like horror movies or adult movies. Huh? Instead, we can watch Krishna movies. Krishna movies will create Krishna vibration. Music, friendships. See, 3 S's. Please all of you repeat. Starve bad habits, supplement with good habits, and stay away from tempting environment. Yeah. So we have to starve bad habits. Like you are having a bad habit of sleeping late night. Force yourself to go early. Gradually starve that habit. Supplement the good habit of sleeping early. And stay away from people who keep you late night. Huh? So you sleep early. In the same manner. So, see, you get desire from good association. Desire and discipline. And discrimination comes from Shastric study. Determination comes from chanting and meditation. Dependence on the Lord can be felt by prarthana, prayer and practice. And we can easily de-addict any bad habit by substitute. Saying no is difficult, but substituting is easy. Yeah. So this is a concluding thing, I think. And any habit you want to do, 3 things you have to do. Please all of you repeat. Know the right, choose the right, discipline the right. So how will you know the right? Who can say? How will you know the right? Yeah? Yeah, by studying scriptures. By studying scriptures, you know the right. And how will you choose the right? What do you need? What do you need for choosing? Association, yeah? Yeah? No, intelligence comes from knowing the scriptures. But see, how many of you know many times this is correct, but still we don't choose the correct? Correct, no? So if you have to choose the right, you need one quality. Determination. That comes from chanting. Hare Krishna. Determination also comes by taking a vow and completing a vow. You get determination. So know the right, choose the right. And third one is discipline the right. How do you discipline? Here is a method. For disciplining the right, set milestones. For example, one of you is sleeping at 11 o'clock every day. You want to sleep at 10. First week, you sleep at 10:45. Then second week, 10:30. Third week, 10:15. And fourth week, 10 o'clock. So in 1 month, you have got the quality of sleeping at 10. So that is setting milestone. Second is connect with role models and experts. You should have some role model. Connect with devotees who sleep early. Then you will also sleep early. And peers. Peers give you encouragement and superiors give you strength. And milestones makes the task easy. Any habit you want to do, you can do very easily. With these 3 things. Peers, superiors and milestones. And here is a 5 more discipline Krishna gives. Mana prasada samyatpam maunam atma vinigraha bhava samshuddhirityetat tapo manasamuchyate. Verse number 17.16. 5 S's. Cultivate satisfaction, simplicity, silence, self-control, sanctity. This is nicely explained by Prabhupada in the purport. By cultivating these qualities, we are fencing ourselves. This is also a method of fencing. And then 6 urges given in the first verse of Nectar of Instruction. Vacha Vegam, Manasa Vegam, correct, no? This is also discipline, again. Yeah. Controlled mind and uncontrolled mind. See, this fellow is proud. This fellow is panicky. This lady is angry. That means uncontrolled mind they're experiencing. See this? Knives can be used by a surgeon. Knife can be used by a thief badly, you see. Mind is also like that. And then sattvic food yields creativity, he says. Okay, Rajasic food, violence and fear. That's all. Nice, Prasad? You all took Prasad in the morning? You had Prasad in the morning today or not yet? Now you will have it now. See, even if somebody says eating vegetarian food will not make you strong, you can give them example of these 2. Giraffe and elephant. Both are vegetarian. Yeah. That's all. ABCD. Finished. Knowing is not enough. We must apply. Willing is not enough. We must do. He's saying. That's the whole idea. Okay. I'll conclude with this. I can give this PPT if you want. I prepared this for Ohio State University, Columbus. They liked it very much. So I should give it to whom? If I give it to you, you'll pass it to everybody? Okay. Let us conclude the class with this. I have to go for another program now, right? Shri Prabhupada ki. So the date for the next month is